everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the show. I'm your host, Mark Bader. This is The Bader Show. We're at episode 435, and we got a special guest for today. He's a 2024 Olympian. He's an NCAA runner-up, and he's wrestling this month, February 26th, on FloWrestling Night In America. Please welcome Austin Gomez. Austin, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us today, man. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for being here. It was a busy year for you, right? You went, you're out Michigan, went to the NCAA championships, wrestled for Mexico, qualify, you make it to the Olympic championships, the Olympic games, and then you just got married, and then you just wrestled again, I think last week overseas. So you caught back up on sleep? Back on track?
All caught. Yeah, back on track. It's been a crazy year. It's been a good year. Just really blessed with the opportunities that were presented to me, and I think I took advantage of them. So it's been a really good year so far, and I'm happy how everything went.
Sure. Let's just kind of get into the Mexico thing, right? We all know you competed for Mexico at the Olympics. When did the idea to do that come? When and how did the idea to I'm going to go wrestle for Mexico? Tell me about that journey.
I think it first started. I was actually representing Team USA at the Pan American Games, and I think it was like 2014, 2015 at the Cadet Pan Ams, and they were down in Guadalajara, Mexico. And I won freestyle Greco, won the golden boot for both styles as well. And the Mexico wrestling president at the time saw my last name was Gomez, saw my dad was Mexican, and it was just like, we'd really love for Austin, to come compete for Mexico someday. And I think that's when it we kind of got the idea, or my dad got the idea in his head where, maybe sometime down the road we're going to get that ball rolling. And we finally started getting it rolling a couple years ago.
And what does that mean, get it rolling? Like, what are the steps or the processes to make that jump?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty complicated at first, just because, we have never done it before, so I know, we know the Stevan Micic and his dad really well. Stevan used to wrestle for my dad when we were younger, so we used to work out all the time in my dad's wrestling club. So we kind of just asked them for advice, and then, we had to find birth certificates, my dad's birth certificate, our grandparents' birth certificates, their originals, and just prove our family lineage down in Mexico. And that's it was a long, complicated process. Then my dad had to get his passport, his Mexican citizenship passport, and then once he did all that, then I could finally go get my Mexican citizenship and my passport.
All right, so once you got
to represent Mexico.
Yeah, once you have the paperwork, the citizenship, the passports, all that, when it gets to wrestling, obviously Mexico doesn't have a wrestling system like USA Wrestling, right? This big national governing body. What is it like once you have the documentation, but now working with either the Mexican athletic entity or I guess maybe Mexico Wrestling does have an entity, but I'm sure to a smaller degree than USA Wrestling.
Yeah. So my dad just reached out to the Mexico president at the time of the organization down there called FIMALA. That's their USA Wrestling down there in Mexico, and was just asking them, when's the next tournament, like one of the tournaments down in Mexico, in order to be on the Pan Am team, the world team, and things like that. So it was kind of just them texting a lot and coordinating that. And then, once we finally knew about those tournaments, we would fly down to Mexico, go down and compete. And then, just work our way up the ladder and representing Mexico and getting our way to Pan Ams and the World Championships.
So was there a process of wrestling other Mexican wrestlers? Wrestle off, tournament, Mexican nationals? Tell me the process of, solidifying yourself as the number one guy in Mexico.
Yeah, so Mexico does it where it's not like how the U.S. does it with Final X and all that. So there's 3 national tournaments, and from what I can understand, is that you have to win 2 out of those 3 tournaments in order to be considered like the number one guy at your weight class. So there was one in November in Mexico City. There was one a few weeks ago in Oaxaca, Mexico, and so I won both of those. And there's another one in Monterrey, Mexico, where the Pan Ams are actually going to be this year, the Senior Pan Am. So there's another one I think in March. I'm not sure if I have to go to that one yet. I just got to communicate with the head guy and the president, and to see if he wants me at that tournament. If he does want me at that tournament, then I have to go down and compete. So really, it's just like trying to communicate the best way possible to the president of Mexico Wrestling, and asking him, can I go to the ranking series tournaments and all kinds of things like that. So just being really good at communicating with him, and just telling him kind of my needs and what he needs out of me, to represent Mexico.
Sure. Obviously, RBY, did a very similar thing. He competed for Mexico. What's your relationship like with Roman? And, which one of you guys did this first, and did the other one kind of help the guy with those steps that you just talked about?
Yeah, so I've known Roman for a long time. We first got connected. I think we were at the Cadet World Team Trials in Akron, and my dad just liked the way he wrestled, saw the way he wrestled, and was like, hey, why don't you come? I think we were probably 14, 15 years old at the time, 16 maybe. And he's like, hey, why don't you come down and stay with us for a couple weeks? And a couple weeks turned into like a month or two before Fargo. So yeah, we were basically like just living together. He'd stay at my place. We'd wake up, train, go work with my dad. My dad owns a tree business, so we worked with my dad all day, and then go to another practice at night. So I've always had a good relationship with Roman. I've known him for a long time. And then for him representing Mexico, my dad was just like, dude, let's do it. I mean, you got family that's from Mexico. Let's just get this ball rolling. You and Austin can do really good things at the world level. In order to be at the world championships, in order to be a world champ, you got to be at the world championships. And we think that our best way of doing that was representing Mexico and representing where our family comes from. So I think this path of representing Mexico and representing our family heritage was the best path for us in order to achieve our goals of winning world and Olympic titles.
Yeah. And I want to back up here for a second, because obviously Olympic titles are like the goal, and world titles. What are like your earliest Olympic memories? I'm specifically speaking of wrestling. Like when's the first, whether it was 8, 12, 16, whatever, maybe earlier, maybe late, the first time you remember watching the Olympics or seeing it or following it, who was wrestling, and what you remember?
I think my first real memory was when Henry Cejudo won in Beijing in 2008. My dad was telling me just the story about Henry, and how his family immigrated from Mexico, and how his family were immigrants, and he made the most of what was presented in front of him. So I think just watching Henry win his Olympic title at a very young age just gave me a lot of motivation, and be like, hey, if he can do it, I can do it too. So just watching him going to win that Olympic medal.
Awesome. Fast forward now, you're like, you're gonna go. Right? You went to an Olympic qualifier. You had to make the finals, I believe, or maybe win it. Where was this? And specifically, we're going to get there, but what do you remember about leading up to this match with Nick Lee? Because I know you wrestled at the World Championships prior to that, and it definitely went his way.
Yeah, for the Olympic qualifier, it being in Acapulco, Mexico was awesome. Just knowing that I could go qualify the spot in the country that I represent. I think that was an awesome opportunity. And leading up to that tournament, it was very stressful because I was in the middle of my college season. I was towards the end of it, and I was wrestling the week before. I think we had Central Michigan was our last duel, and I think I just had I was so anxious and so nervous to wrestle. Not nervous in a bad way, but just going out there and just be like, I want to compete already. I want to go qualify my spot for the Olympic Games. And, it took a toll on me a little bit. because there was a couple times during the season I had to go down to Mexico and wrestle and make 65 kilos a couple times, which isn't easy for me to do. And I think it was starting to take a toll on me a little bit. And it was very nerve wracking, because I was so amped up to wrestle. That's why I came to Ann Arbor, Michigan, and be a part of the Cliff Key Wrestling Club in the University of Michigan, was to go qualify my spot, try and go win an Olympic medal. And the first thing to do was go qualify the spot. So it was super taxing on me, and it was very emotional leading up to that tournament.
Was that tournament, the memory serves me maybe, was it the week between Big Tens and Nationals?
It was the week before Big Tens.
Week before, okay,
we wrestled Central Michigan in a duel, and then that next week we're supposed to have off leading into the Big Ten tournament, which I did not. I think we wrestled our duel, I forget if it was on a Saturday or Sunday, but then on Tuesday, I was flying down to Mexico, making 65 kilos, and trying to go qualify the spot. And once I did that, I had to come back, take some days off the mat leading up and get ready for the Big Ten championships.
And so wait, is 65 kilos like 143 and change, or what?
143, yep.
And you're wrestling 149. Was it scratch, or was there?
Nope, it was scratch weight, yeah.
So you're pulling six more pounds, 5 or 6 more pounds.
Yeah, so I think when I got down to Mexico, I think I was like, trying to remember how much I weighed or how much I was over. I think I was around like 15 pounds over. So like for 49, that would have put me, I think I was like 158 when I got there. So it wasn't a fun weight cut, but I was already like getting down to 149 weekly. So making 149 was easy. And then once I kind of hit like 47, 48, that's when the weight cut starts to get pretty tough. And luckily it was so hot down there that the weight just kind of fell off of me. I was just sweating so much, so It wasn't that bad of a weight cut, but it wasn't fun.
You knew Nick Lee, I would imagine, was one of the guys you would potentially have to beat, or definitely a good opponent. Did you give any thought, a detailed thought maybe to what a match like him with him, especially once you saw the brackets, might look like, or was it like, we're just going to get on the mat and do it?
Yeah, I think I knew what the match would look like. We wrestled at the World Championships the year prior. Second round, he pinned me, but I took a lot out of that first match. Again, that second match, the weight cut kind of got to me at the World Championships. Just I think cutting a little bit too much weight and not managing my weight right, leading up to that. But I think when we saw him, that I was going to have him second round or in the quarters at the Pan Ams. We were excited. That's kind of exactly what we wanted, because we had game plan for him. We knew what I had to do to win, and what to do to stop his attacks and to get my motion going and get my attacks going. So when we saw those brackets, I think I saw some of the look on the people of Mexico, the organization of Mexico. They weren't too happy about it, but when I saw it, I was like, heck yeah, let's go. I'm excited. I know what I can do, and I was ready for that match. Did you
really think? Did you think I can win? Did you think I'm gonna win? Did you know you were gonna win? Like, those are kind of three different things. Where was your head at?
I think I definitely had the mentality of I can win. I can win this match. I'm going to win this match. But I just try to go out there and have fun and wrestle to the best of my abilities. And whatever happens. As long as I lay it out there on the line every single time I wrestle, I'll be happy with myself, win or lose. But I went into that match thinking that I can go out and beat this dude, and I can go qualify my spot for the Olympics.
Sometimes you're obviously an underdog here. You wrestled before, and that we know how it went. Does it ever help being in the underdog, like relieve pressure? It's like, all right, whatever. The pressure's on him, man. I'm not supposed to win, and just like an easier time letting it fly, or does it not make a difference to you?
Yeah, I think I was definitely a big underdog. I think a lot of people at USA Wrestling thought it was going to be a walk in the park for him to go qualify the weight, because the Pan Ams historically has not been very tough. But now the Pan Am is getting better because of all the transfers that are going on. But I think I think a lot of people did underestimate me. I don't think Nick Lee underestimated me at all. I think he knew and he knows what I was capable of, and he knew that I was going to be a real threat to him in stealing that spot to go to Paris. So to me, I was okay with being the underdog. I wrestle better when I'm the underdog. I didn't have any pressure on me. The only pressure is what I put on myself. So and I didn't put any pressure on myself. It was just to go out there and have fun and try and score as many points as I could.
Sweet. All right, if you don't mind, I'd like to watch this match. It was like so many of your matches, it was a crazy high flying match, and we'll let it roll. I mean, this is to, if you want to go to the Olympics, you got to win this match. So maybe walk me through, or tell me what you're thinking here at all, or what you remember.
Yeah, so I knew right off the bat, I knew, he trains at Penn State, he wrestled at Penn State. I knew they're all really good hand fighters. So I just had to try and stop him from controlling the hand fight so much and controlling ties so much. And those Penn State guys, they wrestle at the same pace throughout the entire match. They don't hit sprints very much. They kind of just keep the same pace. And, I think that's how they wear on their opponents so much, because, they're not just super sprinty. They keep same pace, same pressure. They're pulling on your head and they're moving your hands quite a bit. So, it's just to stay calm in that hand fight and try to get to my ties to the best as I could. And right here, I'm really comfortable in the front head pinch. I think I have a really good front head pinch and that I can front head pitch anybody. So I knew that if I got to a front head, I'd be able to expose him in that area, and I did.
Yeah, so we're 1 minute in. It's 2-2. Not a bad place to be, especially, like you said, if you're the underdog. Interesting note, too, from you about how the Penn State guys, they don't sprint, but it's like they're running really fast, but they don't sprint, right? Like, they're just constantly.
It's just their pressure and their head move. They're pulling on not the back of the neck, but the back of the head, the top of the head. So it's putting a lot of strain on your back, and it's exhausting trying to move them off that head. So I think that's where they do an exceptional job as a program. You see every single one of their wrestlers are very good in the hand fight, and I think that's why they're causing so many people so many problems. It's because a lot of these other teams don't know how to deal with the hand fight.
Yeah. So another 2 for Lee, makes it 4-2. Interesting too about not the neck but the back of the head. I like I'm like watching now.
Yeah, it's something that I've really started putting in my wrestling and my hand fight. It's just back of the head, just constant pulls on the head. It really wears on a guy, and it gets a guy moving and starting to take bad shots. Because when you're feeling pressure like that, your opponent's going to start taking diving shots because they don't want to deal with that pressure anymore.
Yeah.
Just like that. See, I that pressure was too much, and I took a sloppy shot and gave up an easy go behind.
So Nick Lee's winning 6-2. He's probably feeling good, thinking where he needs to be. And we got short time left in the first. I guess 40 seconds.
Yeah, see, KJ in the corner got mad at me because I took a sloppy shot and gave up an easy go behind. That's one thing that we preach in practice is you don't give up easy go behinds. You make a guy work for it.
Yeah. Was one of the reasons you chose Michigan, not just KJ, but their international, program?
Yeah, I've had a relationship with KJ for a long time. I committed to Iowa State. That's the reason why I was going to Iowa State, was for KJ.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we got Miles and me and Alex Steringer, Alec Pantaleo, a lot of guys that compete on the international level. And I've known Sean Bourmet. Sean Bourmet and my dad were friends in high school. So I've known Sean Bourmet for a very long time. He's kind of watched me growing up.
I'm going to take a peek back at that last takedown. That was what you just kind of like found him out of position here?
Yeah, just creating a flurry. I knew my butt was to the edge, and I didn't want to give up a step out point, especially with it being short time. So I was just trying to create a flurry and kind of hit a misdirection on him, and he kind of slipped, and I was able to get around and get a takedown.
Yeah. So, man, how you feel, 6-4 at the break, man, you're right in this. What do you think, feel? What does KJ say?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm only down by 2 points. I know KJ always tells me all the time, I'll take you in a shootout. I think he trusts my motor and trusts that I can go get one when I have to. So that puts a lot of confidence in myself, that he trusts me in a shootout. So if I get in a shootout, I just got to keep attacking, keep scoring points. So that's what I was telling myself in the corner is just keep your feet moving, hands and feet moving, and just keep wrestling, and good things are going to happen.
Do you ever think about the moment, during the moment, like, man, this is for the Olympic spot or this or that? Does that ever go through your head, or is it like, nope, I'm just need to work on hand fighting and attacking?
No, I think I was just trying to treat it as another match. Obviously there's a lot of big stuff on the line, going to the Olympic Games. But yeah, I was just trying to treat it as another match, just to keep on wrestling and not let it get to my head.
Yep. Uh-oh. You're probably not that like getting scored on, her, but you don't seem phased, right? Some guys are like, oh,
No,
God,
I mean,
I'm down by 6 now. Gosh.
There's 2.5 minutes left. It's freestyle. I like big moves, and a big 4-point move puts me right back into the match. So I wasn't too worried about it. There's still plenty of time. There was no reason to rush something or do something stupid that could lead me to losing the match. So it's just about staying calm and composed and just keep on wrestling.
Sure. It's just like, okay, 2 more, and Nick's got a caution now, right?
Yeah, so they call him for fleeing the mat, and then I got a step out point as well.
Yeah, he'd get kind of back out there, which seemed uncharacteristic from him, but maybe it was the pressure. Uh-oh. This might be like we start to get in a groove.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel a little bit better. I do that sometimes where I'll give a guy a good position and make him think that he's got a good tie and just kind of play possum with him. And he tried to force an ankle pick, a bad shot, and I think I have some of the best reattacks in the world. So I just got to a reattack.
Uh-oh. And so and I got to slow down in slow motion here. What happened here? We'll look at it again.
Yeah, so this is, I heard my knee pop. Definitely wasn't feeling good. So as he was inside tripping, it came down. I came down on it really hard right there. I heard it pop, and then I heard it pop a second time as I tried to go back in and fight it. It's in a lot of pain.
Yeah. When it hit the mat, is that when it popped, or?
So as he was coming down and I was defending it, he had my leg trapped, and I came down on it.
Yeah.
And so hard on the inside of my knee, my MCL. So I heard a pop, and then I tried to fight back into it and try to get a whizzer in, and I heard it pop again, and that's when I kind of just laid down and just gave up the takedown.
Sure. All right, cold spray, effective or not?
No, it definitely wasn't effective. No.
Okay.
I was still feeling it, but when I wrestled at Iowa State, you get nicked up, and Derek St. John used to tell us, it doesn't matter how you feel, right? Everyone's dinged up. You just got to go out there and keep scoring, and your adrenaline's going so much that you really don't feel your injury anymore. So my adrenaline was going, and then, that position right there, fake outside step to a single. I was just trying to curate an action to get to his body, because I knew once I got to his body that he was going to go double overhooks and try to step over. And once he did try to step over, I stepped my leg out, and that's when I got my 4-point move.
Yeah, it's like when I see you get your hands locked there, I'm like, oh, this is like classic. This is vintage Austin Gomez. Hands locked around the body. Somebody's going flying.
And then, I'm up on criteria 12-12, so I knew it had to come. I knew he was going to take sloppy shots just to try to get me to open it up. And again, my reattack, again for 4, and then fell right into a leg lace and was able to get 4 more.
Man, that's got to feel 12-12 on criteria. Okay, I'm winning. That feels good. 20-12 was like driver's seat, baby.
Yeah, I was feeling really good. It was just about trying to control tie-ups. Again, I knew he had to come. Was going to take another sloppy shot, and just trying to keep him off of me. Just keep trying to hand fight, and then that's when I fell into another reattack.
Describe this feeling. I see a kind of knee not buckle under you, but I see a limp in there. But like,
Yeah,
describe the
yeah,
physical, but
definitely.
more the how you felt emotionally.
I think it was just a lot of, just shutting all the haters up. I think they doubted me. They counted me out. They thought it was going to be an easy win for him because he had beaten me the year before at the World Championships. And, I got a lot of respect for Nick. He's a heck of a competitor. But, I never count myself out in any match. If I'm wrestling my best on any given day, I think I'm one of the best wrestlers in the world. So, it's just trying to put some respect on my name, and I think I got it that day.
Yeah. Congrats, because that was huge. That was awesome. That was a great win for you. Let's go. Back to Michigan, right? It had to be nice to be in a room with, what was it, 4 of you or 5 of you that are training for the Olympics. So it's it's like this team atmosphere, and it's like I'm not just one single guy. But explain what maybe the attitude and the atmosphere was like getting ready for the games while you're in Michigan.
I mean, yeah, it was freaking awesome. You had what was it? Myself, Adam Kuhn, Mason Paris, Miles Amin, and then Stevan Micic was also going. So we had 4 guys in the wrestling room training for the Olympic Games. So it's not just one guy. So you had 3 other guys that were going through this grind with you. You weren't just the only one. So we were all kind of on the same schedule. Just grinding it out with each other every single day. Alongside each other. So that was pretty special to be able to do that, to get ready for one of the biggest tournaments of our lives. So that was really special, just to be able to go through it with those guys.
Yeah. And now, just tell me about the Olympic Games, and maybe explain how is the Olympic game, the experience from the time you leave and get on an airplane to go over there till you come back. Like, how is it different from the World Championships experience?
It's exhausting.
Really?
I think it's kind of mentally exhausting. For me, it was, you're surrounded by all the best athletes in the world. You're all in one village. There's medals being won every single day. It's people celebrating and stuff like that. So when I was there, it was kind of just to keep my focus. I didn't do a whole lot. Luckily, we went to Austria. We have a good relationship with the Austrian national team. So we went to Austria for about 7 days, about a week, and just to get out of that environment, just to let our minds cool off, and just to focus on training. Because for me, I was one of the last days of competition of the entire Olympic Games, so I had a lot of time. So it was just to get out of that environment and just to finish up training camp and to focus on training, and just to get my body feeling ready to go before I competed.
Being there as an athlete, right? Is there any element of trying to soak in this experience of being at the Olympics, or is it like, no, man, I'm here for one reason, and that's one reason, and that's my sole focus, and I'm not letting anything distract me. I'm not going to see another badminton game, or you name it, anything else, or explore the village, or was there a little mix?
Yeah, I think when I first got there, I was there for 2 days before we went to Austria. That was cool. You were there for opening ceremony. So that's when I kind of soaked everything in that, I'm actually competing at the Olympic Games. And luckily I had Roman beside me. So that was pretty awesome to be able to do that with him. So we went out and, explored a little bit, just to, soak it all in. And then once I left for Austria and came back, I was locked in, and I was there to do one job, and that was try to bring home an Olympic gold medal. So right when I came back to the Olympic Village, I woke up, trained, took a nap, trained, and went to bed. I didn't do a whole lot. I was just focused on, finishing up training, getting my weight down, making sure I was feeling good. And that's all I did for the last 5 or 6 days before I competed.
Sure. And if I'm not mistaken, I had it up earlier looking at it. I think, did you wrestle Haji Ali? Was he the last match before you wrestled in the Olympics? And then he was your first match at the Olympics?
Yeah, so we wrestled at the Budapest ranking series. He beat me there, and then when I saw drew him first round. I was excited because I felt him. I thought I had what it took to be able to beat him, but he's a savvy veteran. He's been in a lot of those matches, and he got the best of me. But I was excited when I first round because I thought I was gonna be able to do it. I thought that I thought I could go out there and win. It just didn't go my way that day.
Yeah. What do you learn? Especially getting 2 cracks in a row at a guy like that, who I think has won the Olympics and been at the top of the world. What do you take from wrestling him? Win or lose?
I think just learning how to manage a match, how to pick and choose your spots. I'm a guy that's always trying to go out there and score points, and sometimes that can get me in some desperate situations and giving up some easy points. So just learning how to control my offense a little bit better, how to control my wrestling, knowing that I might win a 3-2 match at this level, and hey, that's okay. You just got to be okay with winning a 3-2 match, and I think I've come to terms with that, and I think I'm okay with that now. Just as long as I'm wrestling well and doing the best I can, to control the hand fight and make sure my hands and feet are moving, and that I'm really strong offensively, but also really stingy on my defense.
All right. Yeah, 3-2 match is not what I'm used to when we watch you wrestle. As we've said, there's usually points going up all over the place. But that was last summer. Looking ahead, February 26th, FloWrestling Night in America. You're wrestling Bryce Andonian. Why did you want to take this match?
I think I owe him one. Try and get this one back. He got the best of me 2 times at the NCAAs in 2022. So I think I think it's an exciting match. I think it's a fan favorite match. I know everyone wants to see Lee and Ono go at it, which I'm excited for that match. But I think when this match got announced, people were excited. I think it gave a little bit more excitement to this card, to an already great card. So I'm excited to go out there and wrestle. I know he's excited to go out there and wrestle, so we're ready to go lay it out on the mat.
Yeah, both of you guys are 2 of my favorite wrestlers to watch, who just always kind of seem to let it fly. And as you mentioned, right, you guys wrestled twice in the NCAAs in 22? Yeah, I think it was 2022, right?
Yep.
In the quarters, and then for third. So we got these short, just kind of 1-minute highlights, but there's a lot of scoring going on, and we'll just kind of watch these. And we got that. Excuse me, I have the wrong one pulled up. So I'm going to come in here and hit the QuickTime player. And yeah, same kind of thing if you want to talk through here. That's cool if you just want to watch. But this is the 2 of you, just quarterfinals. Oh, shoot, this is the 3rd place match. I'm going backwards.
Yeah.
It's like both guys love scoring. Both guys love action. Both guys are constantly looking for something, which I thought was...
Yeah. I think with these matches, in both matches I gave up takedowns late at the end of periods, and I think that's how he kind of took the matches away from me, is just scoring late at the end of periods. Not trying not to give up points at the end of periods, but I was trying to score at the end of the period, trying to get one, but he counterattacked me and it made it his point. So I think that's where those matches kind of got away from me a little bit.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's 7-6 with 20 seconds left. Yeah, you went for it, Hats off. And I'm going to assume that's where this one ends. And then we'll just take a look at this. I went backwards. I did the 3rd place before the quarterfinals, but we'll come here and get this one hooked up as well. View it full screen, and then same thing. This one was earlier in the tournament. And I'm sure you were well aware of Andonian. I'm sure he's well aware of you, right? You guys are high-flying guys.
Yeah, I was definitely aware of him. I knew he was also a high-flying guy. I just don't think I was quite ready for his length. He had some height on me and some length on me, so I had some trouble dealing with that. And he was so long. I haven't really wrestled anybody that long before, so it was pretty hard to deal with.
Oh, so the length is an issue. Okay. Do you see much difference in the way this plays? I don't mean the outcome, right? But maybe the way the match itself kind of unfolds, folk style versus freestyle.
Yeah, I think there's some spots where it can unfold a little bit. I think freestyles suits me better. I think I'm more of a freestyle wrestler. I've always liked freestyle more. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good match either way. I'm really good in the parterre position. Getting on offense on top in parterre. So I'm really excited about that. Just trying to get on top and trying to end a match.
Like that. That's like so the kid.
Yeah.
Vintage. Just like, let me spike somebody through the mat. Looks like a replay.
Yeah, like right there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where the length really became an issue.
Sure.
And just trying to force something stupid, but I had to. I think I was down by 4 at that point. So
Yeah. Well, man, that's gonna be a fun one for sure. I got this one circled, and I guess I said I made a comment earlier off air. I was kind of joking, but if you had to give an over/under on how many points total are scored, whether or not there's a pin, right? If there's a pin, how many points are on the board at the time? But let's just say this match between you and Andonian goes 6 minutes. How many points total are scored?
well, I'm hoping no more than 10, so I can just go out there and 10-0 him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that a good over and under would probably be like 13.5, maybe. I think that'd be a good line for betting odds. But I think that'd be a pretty good line.
I'm taking the over. All day.
Yeah.
All day. But hey, yeah, could be 7-6, whatever. Okay, yeah. Well, that's awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. Should be a fun one. Should be a whole fun night of wrestling, as people know. Lee and Ono and a host of others are going to be wrestling on this card. And you and Andonian are kind of one that I have asterisked as could be match of the night. And really just kind of one other question I have here before we go on, or before I let you get out of here, but just looking over, do you have an all-time favorite wrestler, Austin Gomez? And if so, who is it?
All-time favorite wrestler. Oof. I think when I was in high school, I think a lot of it was I was a big David Taylor fan. Just he was relentless on scoring points. He was trying to score points all the time, and he wrestled that way all the way throughout his career. I think so. My probably my favorite wrestler of all time is David Taylor for sure.
He is one of the best and one of the most entertaining to ever do it. And a lot of it is what you said, that style of it's just like relentless, trying to score points. And, it reminds me of another guy I know who wrestled for Mexico for the Olympics, always trying to score points.
Always, yeah.
Sweet. Well, Austin, that's kind of do it for everything I got for today's show. Is there anything else you had for us? Or, I want to give you the last word to say anything you want to say about anything.
No, just thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you. It goes down February 26th in Iowa City, Iowa. You can watch it right here on Flow Wrestling. Austin, thanks so much. I'll see you out in Iowa. Have a great day.
Yeah, we'll see you guys.
All right. And that's going to do it for the show today, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks.